Oh, am I live now? All right, you are live. Wow. Okay. I want to thank my connection to have allowed me to go live because I don't want to miss. Let me apologize to the family that I promised I was going to do another live broadcast for them today, but for one reason or the other, I was here trying to do the live broadcast when my connection at 6 in the evening did not go through because my system keeps scrolling. It didn't go through because the traffic at that time when I came on board was crazy. I figured that out, but I kept being on the console there. I didn't leave the console. I just stayed in the console there for an hour and a half while it was still scoring because I was not sure whether there was going to be some deliverable inside the. It was going to. It was picking it up and it was the front end and the back end was picking it up. I couldn't. I didn't want to leave it, but at the time I finished all the 2 hours that I was having, I found it did not click. So I just said okay. So I made a promise I scheduled it and I was there, but uh, it did not pan out because that's what they call to err is human. To err is human. What they mean by that is that human being makes error. Computer does not make any error. So when they say to err is human, the computer themselves doesn't make no error because what the computer is programmed to do, that's what it does. Unless if there's a bug in the system, that's when it do something else, and you will know. So I knew there was a problem. So yesterday, I did cover minor hiatus in terms of trying to spend the 100 the, uh, the dinner table that I joined you guys on. So I hope you guys will go back and then we'll download it. So from the way this is going today, I am going to now say that I'm when I schedule that I have a schedule coming up, I would definitely deliver it. But if my hands are tied, I would also apologize like I'm doing now. But today podcast is the same thing of what I did yesterday. What it is consider this as a family get together while we are listening to it. But it's more or less what I would now say that I want to be able to have my novel that I'm getting ready to publish to you all to be able to go and download it. I want you all to pre-order it and then use it as a live document because there are people now who are doing some podcasts out there that wanting to put the Bible as a living document, which means it's live, which means you can add, change, or delete from it. So this podcast today, or this live broadcast today, is also in that same format of saying you can have the novel as a live document because it is the same category with the uh, the Bible, which is the Christian faith, or Quran, which is the Muslim faith. I need to do more heavy lifting in terms of the Buddha. I just know that I just bring Buddha in to be able to counteract the other two. But when you look at omnipotent, omnipresence, and omniscience, which I may now start calling omni, instead of take control of that spin, I just say omni, in parentheses, quote and unquote. The hominy is in direct parallel universe with Erede, which is the women god. And that's something that I'm not going to ever change. I will constantly say, Erede no popo, ye. As a matter of fact, those people who were born in America, those of the Nigerian children that were born in America, out of the fact that a lot of the men fell in love with the women, but they were not thinking. They were not thinking, and most of the women fell in love with the American men, and they were not thinking either. So when they were not thinking, they had the plan that when people are connected at the hip, the only thing that matters is that there's going to be a child coming out of it. And when the people are connected at the hip and they are doing what you call the what I yesterday was calling the DICK thing and the PUCCY thing, I did not pass my word yesterday by saying that when those two things are in unison, there's likely going to be children that comes out of nowhere from it. And though there are a lot of children out there, even if you go to London, there's so many children in London who are of Nigerian descendants out there. There's so many of them that to the point where there was an article I was reading at one point in time when they say that the tent city or in some of those high rises, the staircase, children are sleeping underneath there. Most of them who are sleeping underneath there are living of Nigerian heritage. In the US, it may not have got to that. It's not that popular for a child of the diasporans or the diasporans themselves. I'm talking about the quarterly diasporans, because I kept using that word diasporan from the first diasporans, which was the one that went in as a merchant. Secondly, diasporan was the one that were brought here to that were the one that came in. The first diaspora was the one that went to go find the whole world and that created humanity because everything came out of Africa. And it was secondary diaspora were the one that came in. When they came in, they were interacting with the so for example the Caucasians, and the Caucasians went to go check where they were coming from, and that is how they were able to throw women under the bus. Then the tertiary diasporans, which are the one that was brought against their personal wish, which is a contemporary original sin of slavery that we're dealing with. Then there are quarterly diaspora, and those who came in on their own accord. They came in here deliberately that they were going to make it here. And so when they got here, they have had children. And those children they have out here, those ones are not diasporans. They are not diasporans at all. They are just among the ordinary brethren and sisters. But most of them happen to be able to wingle themselves into the system, but they have not been able to have a major breakthrough where they will now become. I think one of them might just come out to be Obama himself. Obama is one of those beneficiaries because of the father was from Kenya, stuff like that. And the mother was white, and the grandfather was the one that really did Obama the biggest favor by giving him everything that he wanted. So the mother was riding on the shoulder of the father. he was riding on the shoulder of his grandfather, which was white, which made him almost like not being accepted when he came in. So today, I am going to say that I've quantified that diaspora thing now to mean that there are people, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary diaspora. They're tertiary, they are quaternary diasporas, and they have already classified all that. So if you, after saying all that, you want to also say that the today novel is pretty much the novel that I'm bringing up today is not by any stretch of imagination different from what I say. I want you all to go make pre-order it. So when you pre-order it, then you will be able to you'll be able to know what is in there. So I want you guys to go pre-order it so that you can know what is in there, because it's a live document. It has the same gravitas. With the Quran, it also has the same gravitas with what do you call that? The Bible. And you also have the same gravitas with it, but it's standing on its own accord because of the protagonist. It's a woman that was getting ready to get thrown 6 feet under, but she beat the odds. She was able to beat the odds. And when we come to the conclusion or the climax of the novel, there was a point in time there where the contemporary front runner of the GOP, who is going to lose to Biden, all things remaining the same, unless if he gets excuse me, disqualified, just like the antagonist in Nigeria in the I know that man was disqualified because he was committed crime against humanity over there, and this one's committed crime against humanity over here too, by not just accepting the what was on the ground when the election was over. Like I beat my heart that said that, and there was a time when I was the series of time over and again. Yesterday, a million years ago, I have always been in that position where I would need to have me being given the front runner, and I will be relegated. A lot of times, I just take it in stride because I'm not the only one in the room. That I already was able to. Iron out as laid back as when I was a little the other head. So today, the reason why I'm saying you should go pre-order it is that it doesn't matter whether you are a diasporan, your children are all around with you, or your wife is married to a diasporan, especially those who are coming from Nigeria. If you're a white person, because even Charles, what you call King Charles, goes to Nigeria, was going to Nigeria, and when he gets there, he starts speaking pidgin English. And the pidgin English he was speaking there was to show that he was interested in speaking. If you are a white man and you're married to a Nigerian and you go to Nigeria, when you get there, they will be speaking what you call Ibanics, a language that you would know that is not English, but it's more a corrupt English, which everybody, whether you go to school or not, everybody knows how to speak it. And most of the recording I've been doing for the past 6 weeks or so have been recorded in proper English. And I'm going to start changing it around and start saying that I'm going to be using Pidgin English to teach you guys what language they have over there. So I want you to learn from that. I've come here to come and learn what you guys are doing here, and I've been so very successful when after coming here, and I want to be able to give you guys more of what is being done over there, so that you can. It's really good, because a lot of time when you come to America for the first time, when I came in, I was introduced to what you call a host family by my university, the international program will hand you over to a host family. The reason they do that is to hand you to a host family, and the host family start taking care of you. But I was with the host family, and as soon as I discovered that I could not do what I was doing for my uncle back then, when my uncle would come from out of town, come to Benin from Ibadan, I would walk about 8 miles to go and help him to wash his car. I know the children were not doing that for him at Ibadan in Jericho, but I'll go do that. And one time or the other, my uncle did really had me where he had me in the same car, and then went in to go and eat fufu. And I discovered that the tricks to his the tricks. And Obi even said that was over about United can kind of help it. So Obi did that. Obi did. Peter Obi did that. He go wash car for somebody. So these are all traditional things, and I want you to believe that. So when I was dealing with my host family, he was going to do for me. But if he was going to do for me, he needed to do it where my pain point was not removed. And my pain point was pretty simple. One, I had enough money when I came in there. I didn't have bursary award, which other of the students were having. The bursary award got cut off, and most of them now were broke, and they were now asking their family in Nigeria to help them out. For those who came in, there was one particular boy that really came in who was brought here, and he was not smart, but he would then have tutors, Nigerian tutors, who may have been more smarter than him, helping him with his homework. Like I did at DeVry. I did that one full-time at DeVry for 4 years. I just had a tutor. And I'm very glad I did that, because I was paying my tutor, and I was also using the school helping center, and I was having my friends in my second semester, because the first semester I was on probation. The second semester I did not want to continue that, so I told a friend of mine was working for IBM, Microsoft, but he was working in the site, so he will go on a Saturday. He will come to town on Friday night. So on Saturday he will be here. On Sunday he will be here. On Sunday evening he will leave. So he's going to go there and spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and come Friday again. So I was helping him with his fish, because he has a lot of fish in his house. So I helped to feed the fish. Then when he comes into town, they were as simple as COBOL. It was a 6-hour class that I was taking. He would come in, and we would drive to the school. He would help me with the COBOL and everything, because my classmates, or the way the school was designed, was that all the students didn't know what they were doing. Say, for example, we had like 200 students who signed up for my class when we were getting recruited. On the long run, there were about 10 of them graduated. So what they were doing is that they are hiding because to go find out students who already graduated from the school to help them out. They don't know what they were doing. Especially in a class like um, C++, C and Java, which were the new, which was like what they call the contemporary co-pilots and all that, without the artificial intelligence. So they will go do that. So, but I was not going to let that school fall away. So I retain him. He would then help me out. I will pay him to tutor me, and I will go back and use the school tutor. And after using the school tutor, then I will be able to have a total understanding of what I'm now going through. Then I was able to pass the class at a better grade, and that took me out of probation. But I was not taking the elective classes in the school. It's because I was thinking that I have a bachelor's degree already, I have an associate degree already, I have another associate degree, and I thought those were enough for me to be able to do my electives, and that school was not going to buy into that. But I did not want to listen to what they had to say, because even the chairman of my department didn't want anybody who, when he welcomes us, don't work, because this school is full-time. And the school is full-time. It's the same thing. He has the same gravitas with Yale. He has the same gravitas with SMU. He has the same gravitas because they are what you call one-to-one attention to you. They have their claws on you. It's like you are working. It's like you are employed. And so employed, you have what you call managers telling you they already know what you don't know. They will have their claws on you. That was exactly what these people, the school was doing. So I didn't let them have a claws on me. So I was just going through the program with heavy duty theory, and the practical part of it, I was rusty in it. But I did more. After I finished all my program, I found out that I couldn't graduate, so I had to go back and spend the whole year with all the electives before I could take my final project to graduate. But that last year, I was no longer having any contact with most of my classmates who were helping me with the computer of system analysis and design, Cobol 3. They were happy. It was really a matter of fact. It was something like those mundane beginning of the school. And the way the school was designed was that if you are in the school and you are a student, they will put your first class to be what you're supposed to have been able to do at the end of your 3-year program, which means they tell you, they will introduce you to Lolus of 1, 2, 3. They introduce you to Excel, they introduce you to Word Perfect, and they will introduce you to database access and all that. They are expecting that all those things they are using, introducing you to, are the one you should be able to write those programs at the end of it. So the very first time when I got into that Computer 101, the way they teach it is so dense. They expect you to be able to hit that ground and run. And if you can hit that ground and run, which is something like when you have a job, you can't hit that ground and run, they'll fire you in the corporate America. So what I did was I said, okay, I did what I had to do, and in the long run, I was able to finish the program. And when it was time for them to put me up for schooling, employment, they said, no, we're not going to do it because you paid cash for the school, and you are an international student. But they don't allow you to pay international school fees, because if you're not taking the Pell Grant, or your father is not a mullah from Indonesia, Indochina, or it's not a mullah from Iran, because that was during the Obama time. When a lot of them, it's still the same thing now. That's why they think that Biden is soft on Iran. They have a soft spot for the Democratic Party, have a soft spot for humanity. And the Republican Party has no soft sort for humanity. And the reason why they do that is because they just believe, okay, we can allow you that you're human, but the Republican Party are only based on what you call in search of excellence. So if you don't know what you're doing, as a matter of fact, I was very, very ticked today. I was in the train going to going to going to going to go and do some of my run around. I pressed the button in the train in the train station and started dropping money in there. The money that I was dropping in there was all the money I had. And after dropping $3 in there, the money was falling, was going in behind. It didn't register in the front end. So at the end of the whole money, I didn't have no ticket. I was so devastated. So I had to go to the office and ask them that my money has been taken and nobody was going to listen to me all day. Could you give me a ticket? And they said, no, can't give you a ticket. But the driver was coming out of the restroom and they told the driver, my auntie said, when the driver coming, we're going to tell us what he can do. The driver then said, okay, follow me. Then will give me a ticket. Matter of fact, when I was now running around, when I got into the train, later on in the evening, 3 policemen got into the train. One of these guys that was standing there was trying to explain to them that that machine is not taking his money. This woman of her own race was being an ass. I could say that. She just didn't want to hear it because he was trying to kick his brains in. I tried to get in and said that your machine doesn't work. And long after they already, I just told them, I said, this dot is losing more than the only thing that the only problem that dot have is that their machine, which is supposed to be the money machine, whether in the bus or whether in the train, don't know 99.9% of the time, especially in the southern part of town, which is also in neglect. They don't work. So you are ending up, the machine doesn't work, and the person is going to put this, what they call, get up in your face type of thing and start telling you that it's on you. I mean, you are, the guy was telling them, he said, I work 16 hours, and when it's time for me to come and I go to the machine, try to put some money in there, the machine doesn't work, I'm not going to care whether you're going to give me a ticket or not, because I got to go home. I got to go home so I can go rest, so I can go do all that system. So when they left, I just told this one, I said, man, the biggest problem that the system have is that there are people out there who are gatekeepers, who are anti-human, anti-Semitics, and they are perpetuating hatred on everyone. You just hope you don't cross paths with them. Try and have all your T dotted and all your I crossed. As a matter of fact, I had the opportunity, I have the same problem too, because there was a time when my credit card got hacked. I didn't have no more cash. I would then go in and take all the pennies in my house and go turn it into grocery store and get $2. Matter of fact, there was one black woman that bailed me out. I will never forget her. One day, I did not have the money to buy the ticket. And I was trying to tell the woman, can I have a ticket? And that woman gave me $5. I didn't even use the $5 for the ticket. I wanted to go buy some rice with it because I was eating some of the food that was already 10 years old or 15 years old, and I was in my refrigerator. That's how bad the situation was. For a whole 2 months, they're not able to give me my credit card because I'll tell them, don't send my credit card to my neighbors, send it to my house, put it on a fast track of expedited. They will send it to my neighbors, and my neighbors will send it back again to MasterCard. When I call 2 weeks later, because I was being trying to be conservative, they tell me, oh, we are using two computer system. One of the computer system is registering its MasterCard. They must have, they sent you before a MasterCard. That's why the system. I said, okay, send me back an expedite. Okay, we'll do that. I'll sit there. They'll sit expedite, and I don't receive it. I was now doing what I call, I'll go into the train and I would be watching whether the police is coming. And that is now thinking of having, based on the new contract they've signed with the security agency now, they're going to have a police inside every train. So I am now dealing with where there's going to be a police officer, and I will docking them. A police officer is in that truck over there. I'll go to the back. If they come in, I'll go out, because I don't have nobody else to call to give me some $5 or $6. I didn't have no money. And I was using that $5 to go and buy some more rice. So that's how bad it is. The point I'm making here is that that woman is anti-human. And she was talking really, really hardliner to the man that he was speaking to. And my question is, if you're going to be on hardliner on this man, you could have been hardliner on him and he was not being rude to you. Why are you still writing him check? Writing him a ticket? If you hardliner on his ass, then you are still writing him a ticket on the long run. It means that something is. So you are not a human being. Same thing with Trump. You are not a human being. So I was very, very ticked. But I was glad that I got a ticket that carried me for all day. And I have more money now because there was no time when I did not want to buy a ticket. Unless when I get messed up. Sometimes you have cash and the machine is taking dollar bill. Sometimes you have dollar bill, it's taking cash. The boss of the boss, you go in there, you want to buy a ticket, the machine said the machine is not working. So they're losing what you call $1 billion in a year. That's giving a conservative number. If they are collecting like $10 billion for a year, because they said their ridership is dropped during the COVID-19 to 19 million from 23 million, and it's now back again to 24 million now. So the new number, if it's 22 million, and the new number is multiplied by ridership of $1.50, which is going to be the average. We're talking about how that was going to be. We're talking about $1 billion. And from that $1 billion that they are charging, there is the likelihood that the way the monetary system is being managed, they are losing a lot of money on it. And not just losing money, they are making life difficult for people who live in the southern part of town that are already down bad. Their back is already against the wall. So it's ugly, man. So the reason I brought that up is because I want to tell you now that the book has what you call a hook, has what you call the incitement incident, has what you call the climax, has also called the resolutions that takes you through what you call all the stages of book writing. Then I'm going to have to write another book on Trump himself, but I'm going to use him as a narrative, oral narrative, to say that the climax of Trump is the fact that he did not. His father told him not to ever say, not to ever back down. Don't back down. And that's what he did with his father. So what he was doing, he was kissing his father's ass, and his father was a wounded lion. His mother was a wounded lion. I'm talking about Freddie and Mary. Those are wounded lions. So all the other children didn't want to do that. And I've had the opportunity of knowing what I'm talking about because my two best friends in Nigeria were the favorite of their parents, but their parents were not in the same category with Trump, Freddie Trump, or Mary Trump, because the cousin, the niece, who's a psychologist, a physiotherapist, a shrink, has made all this open to us, and he doesn't want him there in the second run around to become a president. That's where I got all those information from, and it's still is standing there, and it's the same climax, the hook, and the incitement incidents and all that put together is the same thing. There's a parallel universe, and I'm hoping that on the long run, Trump will not be able to. Trump will face the same fate that the antagonists of Ogi Baba faced in Nigeria and get thrown in jail. Because they even are saying in Nigeria they would throw him in jail and they disqualified him. Here, his son is being disqualified already with two states, and they are putting that under the contest now. And there's already what you call the Supreme Court will have to decide. Not only that, that insurrection thing, I don't see how he can get away with that. Because he knew his word matters to those nakedly devourer mega, who, one way or the other, most of them have mental, their coconut doesn't work. So they went in and took his word literally. And it's exactly the same thing that the protagonists in Nigeria who were disqualified in Nigeria, those hoodlums who are currently committing kidnapping in Nigeria, most of them have come from Sudan. We know that a lot of them came from Gaddafi. After the fall of Gaddafi, a lot of small arms were brought into the sub-Saharan Africa that they use in killing people in Nigeria. And that was what got Buhari into power, because they were calling them Boko Haram. It's not Boko Haram. They were foreign terrorists that he brought in. But he was able to manipulate Obama, manipulate the president of France, manipulate the sitting president of Russia at that time, to which Putin said he did not like the fact that Gaddafi got thrown under the bus by the West, so that he kicked him out of there and came back again to power. So we're looking at this book as being something I'm going to have to write. Let me also say that the book itself, I've not given away any of the book. I've not given any of the book. I'm just teasing you of what the book is. The book is very something different from whether it's pretty simple. I did not particularly wrote the book because I had my 40 years in America as being what I was using to try to write a book when I tried to go into business and it failed, and I tried to access a memoir. And when I was talking to my coach, that's when she told me I should go and write a memoir. And when I left her, I already I started trying to figure out that I was trying to write a memoir. I find out that, hey, you're writing a memoir, you're going to have to go through all the hook, the incitement incidents, the climax, and all those minutiae. So I said, what if I had to do that? Why don't I just make up something in my head? So what I made up in my head was the one that was handed over to a beta reader. And I did have artificial intelligence to summarize, I had an assistant, which was artificial intelligence. As soon as it came out, I was just happy that it came out. I already have a lot of research material on artificial intelligence before it came. I already knew what artificial intelligence. I knew about the transformer. I knew about the noise in the quantum level, quantum computer. I know artificial intelligence, but I did not know that they were they were going to start using it like the productivity software. So what I did was that as soon as it came out, and I had a discussion with my friend, I already know what it was going there. He was telling me, just give me 2 or 3 seconds, we'll put it into artificial intelligence. I said, if that's how it works, you can forget it. So when I was looking at it, that's not how it works at all. The way it works is that if you are handicapped like me, you have a handicap, and you are like me, and you are sitting out there, you need you are handicapped. You who needs help with a tutor, which is what the rich people do for their children. You can use artificial intelligence as your assistant. That's what I've been using now to analyze, or you want to program, or you want to design, any picture, any music. You can throw it into different uh, different prompt. That's what they call prompt engineering. You can throw into any of the prompt, and it will give you what you call a regurgitated pilot reaction. What I mean by that is that a pilot, when you train them, they just say what you told them, and they don't reason beyond that. Like dog, you train a dog to do certain things, they do one thing, they are not human. So a parrot will then give you what they call hallucinating. He will hallucinate when he's giving you information. So you have to be really careful. If what your direction you are going does not work, that's what they call the generative AI, which means if it doesn't work, re-question him again, and he will give you a better answer. Those are prompt engineering. So you have to be able to know what you're doing with it. Use that assistance, and we then give the output from my beta reader, who has given me a summary. Because I made a mistake of sending him the wrong data at first, and they gave a second data, and he was from Nigeria. I was very, very happy about that, because I told him I was going to. He was asking, curious whether I usually go to do this. I said, yeah. So he did give me a summary, and the summary he gave to me, I took it to and I paid really well for that. Paid book for the beta reading. Beta reading was supposed to have been done with a friend of you beta reading for you, while you are beta reading for them, and you guys are sidekicks of equal weight. But that was at the end of the writing of the book. That's when you beta read. But a lot of times you had to be the one that would write the book with all the moving parts inside there. So since I teach artificial intelligence, we send it to developmental editor. I will pay really, really well for that. So the developmental editor, which I wanted to use in America here, you go to the developmental editor. I ask them, I want you to help me with the developmental editing. They got their head spreading in the sand, because they are not going to be able to try to help you at all. They don't even have you in mind. They'll tell you that I'm not going to be your developer editor. I'm not going to be your developmental editor, because they themselves have been in the industry forever. So the AI has really dealt them a blow, because now at this point in time, you don't need them. That assistant that you need is free now with OpenAI, or with all the configuration that is now going on with company that has been in business since 19 Porodo, no date, no number, and they are now in there, and they are now going in there and putting reconfiguring the transformer to hedge their data center, their database. So they're going in and they themselves already have a software that they had working. And their software starts from input equals output. But in the middle of it, there are database, or what you call data warehouse. Their data warehouse is now where the people will now go and then tweak the data warehouse and put clauses there that if you ask a question, and the question you're going to ask is part of when you hit your data warehousing, then let the information there goes into ask a question from the parameters that one, I think it's in the sense that 13, 12, 17 billion questions that they use in training the transformer. So those things will now be inside the data warehouse, and that's what they are now using. So all companies that have artificial intelligence now working, that's in the near system. So when you're working for a company, you now don't have what you were doing before. That was you going in there and start writing your SQL to hit the data warehouse. You don't have to do it now. Or you have to do what you call you have to do what you call you have to do the science, the scientific parameters of how to be able to link your data manipulation, your repository, your foundation library, on how you are now dealing with that. So you're able to do some manipulation there, whether it is API, which is an application programming interface, whether it's a smartphone, whether it's e-device, e-electronics, anything, they are all out there. They are even using it for what you call medicine. They are using it for climatic. They are even using it for war game now because Ukraine has started using artificial intelligence in simulating war game and what you call telecasting it, which I personally knew at that point. What I was able to know about artificial intelligence was that if you have a requirement that you want me to develop for you, I would go in and put it into what you call I think has what you call some stock that was sitting as it's called stock. So when you put the I think, you feed it into it, the I think will then take the data, and when he bring it back up, it would do what you call a simulation, like a dashboard. You know how we are driving a car when the water is low, in the front of the car, it's too hot, it will show you a dashboard. When the gas is low, it will show you your dashboard. So all those parameters you're putting in, which interact with the hardware, the firmware, will now be showing you your dashboard. So I knew that under the what you call that there was what you call the organization. That's exactly where what they use in putting the transformer in place. It was done by one Canadian, and that Canadian guy. And it's still bad because what they use in training it is not different from the old bias that was already there. The training, they are using the same data. The dump they already have against women are all there. The dump they have about the original sin of slavery, they are still in there. So those biases should be taken out. That's why they are being policed by the government. So I've given you a lot of information. Those are all computer literacy, but it's still very, very, it's still information that I would love you guys to know. So I have teased you guys on what we are up against. And the next thing we're going to do what we call a compelling narrative of the book. And what I was saying was, let's women be the, let more women come into leadership. Let them come into the leadership role. That's the what everything is going to come up to be on the long run. Then we went into what we call, he said, the success story, which I highlighted in my YouTube that I already loaded today, was more, it wasn't different from the success story. I started talking about women like Guadalupe, women like the Greek goddesses, or women. There was a woman in one of those in the China country in the past 200 years ago that the parents did not want her, was treating her like the same way Ogi Baba was going to be trained, and she dogged the father and then went in and then go put herself in school. And the time she came out, she then started training a lot of women to become to lift them up. That's exactly the same thing which she did that. And now at this point in time, they have a holiday named against her in one of those Chinese country, the Oceanians, one of the countries there. So she became, those are shoulder that of women's success story. We have Gadamer, former Prime Minister of Israel. We have Margaret Thatcher. We have some president who is from, I think it's from one of the African middle country there. They said it's a sheriff or something like that. We have what you call Aisha Yusufu. We have what you call Vera Higato. We have what you call Anna Opute, Idada in parentheses. Vera Higato, Idada in parentheses. Then we have what you call my mother. She has already, is what they call one of the gateway to Arede, and her mother was the only begotten daughter of Arede Nokboko, Yeyo, in terms of Jesus Christ being dedicated to Christ and Muhammad being dedicated to Allah. I'm still going to have to pick up on Buddha again. So, as we stand right now, the only thing we're going to be doing is that we're going to bring all the success story, and those success stories are the one that Ogibaba is sitting on the shoulder of those giants. Then Harley is also sitting on their giant. They are trying to move the hands of the clock forward. And we are hoping that push come to shove, that she will be able to overcome her shortcoming, even though there was a Washington Post article saying that after the dropout that they were doing, and we'll just find out now that they're saying that Chris Christie said that she was a mistake on the hot mic, that she didn't need to let people know that they were going to roast her. He said it was a mistake. And we know that the people, after she dropped out, the people migrated towards Trump. When Vivek dropped out, they migrated towards Trump. When the guy, what they call him, Florida dropped out, they migrated. So that's the reason why the Washington Post is saying that is because in the last 3 states, like the Nevada, Haley was supposed to win in Nevada, but for one reason or another, she still lost to the people. But she could keep losing over and again, over and again, over and again. She's the only one that can beat Biden because she already know how to say it, and she's heading towards Kamala Harris. She's not beating. She carry corner the narrative. We can't be able to have Kamala Harris presidency because the way she's framing it, she's framing it in such a way that it's political to her. She's a politician. She's a man. She's a woman of many words. So she's there and she's putting that gambit on the floor and saying that Kamala Harris, she's the only one that can beat them. And she's the one that is sitting on the shoulder of giants. If the guy got indicted and get thrown in jail, the mega said they're going to still vote for her. At this point in time, if she doesn't technically become the GOP leader and become the president of the United States, everything will be brought back up again, over and again, because the only reason we are in this, Halle just happened to be the one that was sitting out there, and she was a test case for me. And I said, I'm going to write about that. It's a test case for me. But it's a test case because she's in a parallel universe with Rocky Baba. So if she flatter out, if she bottom out, and she doesn't become the front runner, our intention was that we're going to be looking for women across the globe to run for office. That's what the promise we made. And if you guys buy this novel, go pre-order, and I start doing this work full time, I am a software engineer because the whole world is riding on software. And the reason why it's riding on software was because the whole world was riding on software back to the primordial time when Africa had software as part of the ligament to Ogiso. Ogiso was the guard, was the main guard, and she was in the same category with Ihoho in the Eho area. That was the antagonist of their time. So that there will tell you that Eho and Ihoho and was the one that were the main guard of Okiso. So there were ligaments of other scientific tentacle, like Ogun being quantum computer, Ifa being artificial intelligence. If you go into space, you're talking about Ogiso, because that's Giso was back there. If you're going into the underwater, you're talking about Oloku. I won't lie in your for it, but so we're talking about Oloku, we're talking about Eziza, which is what we call the tornado and the tsunami and all these disturbances that comes from that. So we're talking about Harmattan, which is the drying of the tongue in Nigeria at a particular time. So that there, if you take it to another level, the God of Erede is what we're trying to say, where no matter the situation that we have in hand, if it goes well, we'll be glad to take it. If it doesn't go well, we are not married to none of them. When it comes to so we're going to be trying to find out more about what's called the interactive content. We're going to be doing some opinion polls, Gallup polls, We're going to start administering a lot of questionnaires, doing what you call survey online. We're going to be doing what you call a lot of discussions where we have a lot of people coming together like a community organizer. One of my clients is where I live. Where you live and where you work, they are compatible. And I think I touched that too. What I mean by that is that if you're economically challenged, your place you're going to be work is going to be economically challenged. If you're economically at the status fair, then your living condition is going to be at the status fair too, because you are dealing with what you call, like I use a term, Tim Cook. Campus is 5 billion. There is this in the former owner of Infosys in India. His house is 5 billion, and what they're doing there is that they have this $5 billion house where if you walk in, what you're going to do is you're going to have what you call, because of the weather is so bad out there, you have this snow flake coming at you when you walk into some of the apartment in that 5 billion house. And when you clothes that he wears only one clothes every day. He doesn't wear clothes. He doesn't wear his clothes twice a day. He just wear one and he throws it away. So people who are serving them have all this access to that. So if he was made his money through what you call outsourcing, and he's one of the richest guy in the world or something like that. So he has probably has an office that has the same, he has $600 money. Let me just put it that way. So that's there, and then we're going to be having discussion on that. And I'm going to try and say that there's going to be another area we're going to try to have what you call a social media campaign, where we're going to be doing live screening, we'll be doing YouTube, we're going to be all these things. And you know what is so important about that? Is that I am working the ground. It's unfortunate that I'm saying that. All these things I'm doing right now, in the past 6 weeks, when the place I was working went belly up, did not just start now. I started this journey 2 years ago. And what I mean by that is I started this journey more than 2 years ago, because before the advent of the AI, when the COVID-19 came in, I walked through the COVID-19. I worked 24 hours a day, 7 days every week. I was masked. I didn't get the COVID. And I had all my booster. I wore a lot of my mask, and I did a lot of tests, and I did double shot, double booster. I did 6 months of flu research for my doctor. While I'm at it, let me quickly say that I have 3 or 4 people that I'm going to give credit to. I'm going to start by saying that I'll give credit to Geki. Thanks, Geki. Thanks, Uni. Thanks, Osadime. Thanks, Zulua. Thanks, Eduge. After doing all that, thanks, I want to also thank people like Dada Echi. Thanks, Chief Echi, late Chief Echi, his father, who was the one that wrote my meal ticket to the United States. I paid for it, but he just was the one that supported me to be able to make it seamless for me to be able to come to the United States by giving me his what you call his bank statement. He was at this point in time, he would have been one of the richest men in the world, because he was a multi-millionaire at that time when it was nothing out there, when nobody didn't have the money, because he was he was a contractor, what you call a civil engineer contractor that also has some that were doing what you call quantity survey. He was have a engineer. He has a lot of it's exactly what all this high riser that you have in America now. He was building all that for them, and his son was so close to him that the son did took on the same surface, and he's doing exactly that. But he has successfully went in to go get his degree in civil engineering, so make him a more stable contractor. So that was my best friend that I met. So the reason I'm saying that is because I'm giving um, a credit to where it is due. In America, I would say Steve Buscema was one of them. In America, I would say Ben Brown was one of them. In America, I would say Dr. Drama was one of them. The list just, that's about it, because the rest of the people, I went to those people and they did. Brisky is one of them too. With them, and they did everything that they were supposed to be doing without me asking for anything, because I am one of those people who always do what other people, I assess other people and do something for them. So nobody has come to me to come and ask for anything. I feel really bad when Evelyn's brother asked me for something and I didn't have the money to be able to do it. I felt really bad. That's the first Easter where I didn't have any. But I did promise the sister that Ukeki did not have a wealthy felt, nor was she protected with what you call security detail. That's a worst effect, security detail. So I just told her that. I kept her coming along, and she's come a long way to be able to help me. And we're going to start working the ground as soon as the money starts coming in, because we have unfinished business in Nigeria. I may have to be the godfather of Nigeria, because Indian had the godfather like that. And what they did was that there was a time when America was doing work in India. There was a point where IBM pulled out of India, and then India already know what they were doing, and one of their godfather started doing what you call nuclear engineer, and then crafted the nuclear weapon that they now have. That's the reason why India, Pakistan are all nuclear. I think they are the only one who is in Islamic. India, Pakistan is the only Islamic country that has nukes. India is not a Muslim state, but what's going to happen there is that I would say that I'm giving credit to those he's due, and I quickly give credit to all those people that I said it was due to, and it's going to reflect in my book. So if you go one more step, we are going to be looking for what you call an influencer. And the only person that came to my mind was going to be somebody like Erika Badu, because there was a time when I knew as soon as I finished my undergraduate that I wasn't going to use it to help anybody except myself, that Erika already helped the HIV/AIDS community with about to raise $3 million at that point in time. We're talking about way back. You put that money in a contest right now, those are tons of money. So compared to the way we are now at this point in time, taking a loan or going to the bank or taking a grant or approaching any bank institutions that would help you out with money is a wash. Ooh, where did I come up with that? It's a wash. Why is it a wash? Because America just went through $6 trillion under Trump as stimulus money, as research money for the cover, and as debt giveaway, to which most of those senators and House of Representatives are having. They took the money only to turn around when they now saw Biden trying to give what to call money to advance the loans that most of those students are owing, so that they can no longer be owing anything. Biden just told them that you take all those money that was out there. You are now saying, I'm trying to cancel the loan. You're not going for it. Something's wrong with you. So I'm saying that under no circumstances, anybody who is seeking out there now looking for money in terms of seed money, venture capital money, you are that they want to get that guy who was in Canada, went to Nigeria and started doing what you call he wanted to start in Nigeria and start getting the students. But he couldn't do that. He found out that the students were not interested in that. All they were interested in was the money they were going to make. So he turned them into skill sets and started using them like the way info system was using. So they are the same way like Fevler. So but what I learned from him was that he's sitting on about, by now, should be sitting on about $4 billion market capitalism. But he did say that all his time he was spending to raise money, instead of time he would have been using to do more work. That was even before the COVID-19, before America wasted $4 trillion that already Buddha and Allah sent in to test Putin. Let's test, what is his name? Trump, and he flunked the test. And what Putin did was that as soon as he harnessed the first one, he harnessed Kremlin the first time when Obama was in office. So when he saw that the person he can compromise, which is Trump, because Trump kiss up to him, kiss up to all dictators, then he then said, okay, there's another boy that just come into office and he's now there now. I would think that he's back into office. He's probably going to be as weak, because even irrespective of the fact that this guy was the point man to Ukraine when Obama was in office, that's how he got tangled up with this his son, making almost $50,000 a month, because he was using his father's influence over there. And the father is saying that he doesn't know about it, that I'm not responsible for what my son is doing. That's a wash, too. That's a wash. It means he's not different. He's a misogynistic, too, because there was a woman that accused him of having, the woman has gone abroad now. The woman was with him as an aide in his Senate office, and he wanted to get fresh with the woman, took her to the hotel, and when the woman wanted more, the woman was trying to become an embodiment of a woman. Then he flipped on her, and when he flipped on her, then she walked away, and I believe that's what happened. That the woman, he was not misogynistic, but he was liberated, but he was not he for going bad on her, it's the flaws. It's a character flaws. That's what I'm saying. You go bad on somebody that didn't want to be in bed, go to bed with you, because all he wanted to do was have. He thought she liked me. I mean, that guy had aneurysm, so most of the brain cannot carry him most of the time. Just like myself, I fall in love with all the women, and a lot of them are thinking from their embodiment of a woman. And even though I'm not, all my cylinder doesn't fire, but I'm still an embodiment of a man who will do protect the woman's virginity, which is I'll protect them. I'm not going to ditch them in. So if we go forward to that, I'm saying we're going to do what we call a call to action. Go and pre-order my book. And I'm going to say that. And we're going to try to go in and then comb through my Google account, comb through my Yahoo account, comb through my phone account, go through my WhatsApp account. After coming through all this, I would have enough to be able to launch this thing, because everybody I'm going to be sending customized clip to knows that they need to be able to step onto the mic, because most of them I've had the opportunity of meeting with them, and I did not do them in, and they did not do me in. Even if they wanted to do me in, it was on them. If I had wanted to do them in, that was on me, and I don't do that. I'm not a crook. So we're going to try to have email, and we're going to try to network and all that good stuff. We're going to try to go use, I will also come the Facebook. I'll try and go into the LinkedIn. I'll try and go into the Yahoo and all that. And I will then comb my apartment here, where is my data warehouse of business card, and I would ask some of them print out of what I have, and I will send it to them. I think I have enough to be able to launch it. So when the book comes out, I'm going to do a launching. I'm going to launch it. But to launch it, this kind of streaming is what you need to be able to put in context, to be able to say, this is what he wants to do. He wants to sell. He wants you to go pre-order. So we are waiting for people to have commentaries and comments and arguments, because we are looking at what we call the alcoholic beverage in the alcoholic constitution in beer, booze, and wine. In beer, booze, corporate, government, NGOs, etc., etc. You can be in all those together. You order for yourself a book. If you order yourself a book, you can get 25% off it right off the bat. It will be paid to your account as soon as you're on. If you send us your counterparts in your circle of friends, as soon as you're sending the data to us, we'll cut you a check right away. We're not going to wait for them to buy, because we know when we trust you. Because I'm going to be the one that would, and any of the marketing that I'm going to do, the sales and marketing that I'm going to do, I'm going to use all the information to pay myself a 25% that I'm going to be using to be able to return to motherland. Or I have to use that same 20% to pay my rent, which I believe, I said as a community organizer, I'm going to be doing work for my complex. So we're waiting for questions, argument. I'm going to try to wrap things up and say, I've just done an hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to end that script by saying, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Oyibo Pepe. If you eat it Pepe, you yellow more. Oyibo Pepe. If you eat it Pepe, yellow more. Oh, Yibo Pepe, Futy Pepe, you go yellow more. You have a nice evening, you have a nice morning, you have a nice afternoon, you have a nice night. Because according to the restaurant industry, when you are eating a dinner here somewhere, somebody is eating breakfast somewhere, somebody is eating lunch somewhere, somebody is eating a snack by waking up in 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning and eating snacks. So we are wishing everyone happy Valentine's that is coming up on the 14th. Hope you guys will have nice Valentine. It's been a pleasure. And I want to thank you again for joining us today and listening to the stream, the live streaming. This is Ogi Baba. Welcome to Ogi Baba. Welcome to my world. Welcome to Ogi Baba. Welcome to my world. We'll talk to you about you, your hope, your ambitions, and those things that make you incredibly special. Thank you.